What is going on, guys? What day is it? Today, day 28? I think it is. Day 28. And today was a fast day. I know it got a little confusing yesterday because I put 2 days and then I was all hyped up on the coffee. Man, I'm all tangled up here. Today was a pretty cool day. I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a, just kind of load on my day. Not necessarily having to do with fasting or not fasting or anything like that, except, normal Taco Tuesday. We had Bible study. This is the normal one, the one that goes all the time. Yesterday is a temporary one. So we had Taco Tuesday today, and that was pretty good. I have a normal oatmeal, and today was a pretty good day. It started off a little bit rough. My mood was a little bit on the negative side, but then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just stop being that way. So I did, and I'm happy about that. And today ended up being a pretty good day. It was a rainy day here in Oklahoma City. Oh, so rainy. This is our driest month, and ordinarily, but we've gotten a lot of rain, and it's been unusually warm. The other day it was in the mid 60s. It might have even gotten to the upper 60s in January. What's going on with that? Yeah, so it's been pretty good. And tomorrow, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because it'll be day 29, and the day after that is day 30. And then on the 31st, I will give you the final video with a weight and a tape, and that'll be on a Friday, okay? So Thursday will be the last day of it. Friday will be the last actual video that'll kind of summarize everything. So we're just kind of riding it out, and we're kind of seeing how many pounds we can lose in this final week. And I'm hopeful to get down. I'm hopeful to lose 3 to 4 pounds. 3 to 4 pounds would be really cool, because then that would mean I almost reached my goal. And it'll really push me into meeting my ultimate goal of 145. So, but yeah, pretty normal average day. I did take in some sugar. My wife made some lemon bars last night. I think I told you that yesterday, and I enjoyed those, and those were pretty good. And I had pizza for lunch, and I got full. And let me tell you something. Here's a story I can tell you. Are you guys sharing your story with anybody else around you? I've been sharing mine with my coworkers because a lot of them fast, but not like what I'm doing. They're just doing intermittent fasting, 16 hours basically. But then I got this one guy at work, and he's very overweight, like over 400 pounds, he's very, very overweight. And he struggles, and we've been talking a lot about this idea of alternate day fasting and fasting in general. And I was telling him, I was like, it's all circumstantial, right? Like, our eating habits usually revolve around some circumstance, and then we just chose food to cope with that circumstance. And he told me that the other day he was getting ready to make a sandwich, and I remember we had a conversation about a grilled cheese. You know how many calories are in a grilled cheese? It's about 300. For your basic grilled cheese, it's about 300. And basically, roughly calculated, it's 100 calories for per slice of bread. So you got 200 calories, plus 100 calories for a normal slice of American cheese. So about 300 calories. It's not including the butter that goes on it, or the mayonnaise that you use to grill it with, or any of that type of stuff. Or maybe use 2 slices of cheese and it's 400 calories plus the butter and all that stuff. But he was telling me that he usually makes a sandwich in the evening time after dinner. And he remembered the conversation that we had about calories and about how we don't really realize what it is that we eat most of the time if we're not paying attention to the calories. Now, I know that there's different schools of thought that calories really don't matter. It's more about the content of what it is that we eat, whether it's macronutrients like proteins versus carbohydrates versus what's the other one? That's unbelievable. Starch? No, that's carbohydrate. Fats, right? Fats, carbohydrates, or protein. That's what matters. And you know what? There's a great deal of truth to that too. However, the unit of the calorie can tell us a lot about how much we ought to be eating, because the reality is every food does have a calorie, a unit of measurement assigned to it, and it's kind of supposed to represent like an amount of energy, right? Because it takes energy to burn calories, and so much activity burns so many calories. And if you just kind of plug that into a mathematical equation, it does kind of work out that if you run a deficit, that generally speaking, you will lose weight. So, counting the calories does work. Systematically, mathematically, it does work. But anyways, here nor there per se on that. But he remembered that conversation that we had, and the premise was that we don't really understand how much we actually eat until we start paying attention to it. And he started to make this sandwich, and he remembered that conversation that we had. And he said, you know what, I'm going to push through this circumstance right now and not eat this sandwich. And he told me about that, and he was really proud of himself because he was able to kind of deny that urge. Even though he wasn't like necessarily hungry, he admitted that he's probably just bored and he's going to eat out of boredom. So I kind of congratulated him, encouraged him, and then I told him, I said, you know what, man? I said, maybe camp out there, maybe take that circumstance and master that circumstance, and then add another one, where you eat not out of hunger, but maybe out of boredom or out of routine, because we do train our bodies. I really believe this, and I've experienced this in this time, is that during fasting, that I would get hungry at certain times. And it was because those are the times that I normally ate. So you train your body to get hungry. Or you could train your body to not be hungry for a certain amount of times. And that's part of the secret to this every other day fasting, is that we deal with our circumstance in the fasting times. And that way, when we eat, our bodies actually are not as hungry as they were previously before we were fasting. And then it just so happened that we were having this conversation, and he's a trainee and I'm training him, and we ended up staying out like all day, like way past lunch. We ended up getting back at the shop at like 3 o'clock, right? And we came in at 7:30, so lunch should have been around like 11:30, right? If it was somewhere in the middle of your shift. So we were like way over on lunch, and he was telling me how hungry he was. I'm so hungry, and I'm on a fast day, so I'm like, I feel for you, man, but ain't bothering me too much right now. And then he told me, he said when he finally got back to the shop to eat, he really wasn't that hungry anymore. So it just goes to show you we can train our bodies to kind of do whatever it is we want it to do. So I don't know if that encourages, but it's definitely a story. It's more times than not, you really don't have to eat when just because your body is telling you that it wants to eat. But it's better to recognize circumstances, and what are the circumstances that we decide that we want to eat in excess, or extra meals or snacks or whatever it is, and then master those circumstances, and just have to know what normal eating habits are or what healthy eating habits are, and then just train your body to run that way. And it will. I promise you, the body will adapt. It's an amazing organ. People call it an organ. I don't know if it's an organ or what it is, but I'm made by God. I believe you are too. And he made us in this crazy cool way where it adapts to just about anything that we ask of it. So, even sleep, Did you know that you can actually train your body to run off of 2 or 3 hours of sleep if you wanted to? You really can. It'll adapt. That's just the way it works, So anyways, guys, if you guys are having trouble with the fasting, if you guys are having trouble with denying, yourself in certain circumstances, just know that. Just stick with it. I promise you, your body will adapt and you get used to it, and then you will get the benefits of it. So, anyways, I guess that's probably just. Oh, a quick update on Kristen. She had a doctor's appointment today for her broken arm. Actually, not really a broken arm. It was her wrist, broken wrist, and I can't remember what it was. But we were praying towards just a cast. We were just believing in faith that they were going to go cast it. And she's coming home, and we're in good shape. Well, as it turns out, that is not the reality. The reality is that she's going to have surgery. We're hoping for Friday, and what they're going to end up doing is they're going to put in a plate in here, a permanent plate, to join the break. So it'll always be there, and we're hoping to have that done by Friday. The good news about it is it's a faster recovery than just letting the bone heal. But the negative to it is it's surgery, and we don't actually have insurance. You know, we have MediShare, which is good, but it's going to end up probably costing us a decent amount of money. So our prayer has changed. We're going to adapt to God's will, and faithfully just believe that He is going to take care of us in a financial way. Not that we don't have the means to pay for it, but nobody wants to pay more than they have to. So anyways, if you want to join us in that prayer, it's just to have some financial mercies. And by the way, do not send me any money. Do not offer any money. That's not why I'm saying this. This is just an update, and this is a prayer request. Yeah, that's where we're at. So she's probably going to have that surgery this week and then recover from that. So, yeah, that's just about it. And so I guess all that's left is just to pray for me. You know, I'm praying for you. Oh, my numbers. I always forget my numbers, don't I? Well, my sleep. Oh, what happened here? Did it quit on me? Oops, I thought it quit, but it didn't. My numbers. My sleep was terrible last night. Absolutely horrible. So I'm giving it a 3 on my sleep. However, when I woke up and I got moving, my energy popped back up to about an 8. My motivation was somewhere around about a 7. I would have done what I was told, but I wasn't jumping at anything. My general mood was pretty good until I got home. I spilt my coffee in my truck. It was terrible. Let's see here, my mood, my motivation, my energy, and my sleep. I guess that's about it. So there we go. Now we have it. So pray for me. You know I'm praying for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here's my pick.